Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome inside the Apple Dome. For the final time, we have some round-robin action, and it's win and you're in for the Halifax Hawks and the Valley Jets here in Berwick, Nova Scotia at the Under-13 AAA Provincial Championship. Both teams need a win to secure their spot in some more semifinals. Second place in the pool will play the Sackville Flyers tomorrow morning, while first place in Pool B will play on the Tassa Ducks at the exact same time, 9 a.m. in two different rinks, the Berwick Apple Dome and then over at Acadia. So obviously a huge game here to end off the round robin. My name is Mason Tonight here with High Button Sports. Happy to give you the coverage and talk about a great tournament for Landon Andrews. 5 goals for the Valley Jets superstar. He'll start at right wing, opposing Benny Rimmer, who's had himself a great tournament as well for the Halifax Hawks. And we are now underway live for the final game of the round robin, the 12th overall here at the Apple Dome. And it does not get much bigger than this here. Win and you're in scenario for both these teams looking to continue their seasons in hope of a championship banner. Here comes Andrews right at the hop. Landon Andrews towards the goal, gets taken down. No call on the play. Now that will make its way in the corner. Here's Andrews looking to center. It's going to be defended by Ryan McDonald. Here's a pass to the slot. Shot will go up and high as Wyatt Rollo getting the start for the Hawks in net. While over on the other side, Jay Scally making his 3rd straight start of the tournament for the Jets as they're looking to extend their season. Here comes Benny Rimmer. Rimmer has a pair of goals in the tournament so far, looking to keep that momentum going as the Hawks have a spot as the host in the Atlantics Championship over at the new Dow rink, as there's a chance for the Jets. Nice move. Shot on from Barron, and he scores! Thomas Barron brings the crowd to their feet for the Valley. What a move from the Jets blue liner. Goes all the way, dipsy-doos his way to the goal crease and goes upstairs on Wyatt Rollo. 57 seconds in. It's the Jets who strike first blood. An ideal start for the Valley while the Hawks are looking to respond now. Here's Best. He'll play it over, pass the middle, looking for Slom. It will be out of his reach. Here's McDougall. As McDougall will work down the corner. It's going to come free off the wall. Up top, here's McWilliams. Shot down low. Will bounce off the backhand of McDougall. Play to the corner, return fees. McDougall gets taken down with a body check, and Andrews out of the box for that one. Body contact to signal. Andrews is a bit too heavy with that body check, as he'll be escorted to the box, and a chance for this Hawks power play to tie the game. Kostopoulos, Rimmer, McDougall, Johnston. Are out there, as well as Henry Udall. Puck is dropped. It's one ahead by the Jets, shorthanded. That's going to be played back for Cooper Best. Best will send that all the way down the ice. That's going to bounce its way on goal for Rollo to control. Here comes Johnson looking to get by the back check. That's going to come free as Taylor will play it back for Cooper Best. Best will send it all the way down the ice. McDougall back to retrieve the puck. Only one defenseman out there for Halifax for this power play. Here's McDougall. He'll win the battle from the corner. McDougall makes his way to center as he's met at the blue line by his stick, but able to keep the play going inside the zone. As Rimmer and McDougall looking for the loose puck. McDougall down low for Rimmer. Here's Ben Rimmer. Will play it up the line for Johnston. Johnston over across. That's going to be corralled by Udall. Back for Johnston. Over to McDougall. McDougall's shot will be blocked, and that will ricochet its way to the opposite corner. Here's Udall with 55 seconds to go in the power play. Here's Johnston. Johnston for Udall on the half wall. That will bounce off his stick. Comes free for Johnston in the corner. Johnston looking to make a play. Puts the brakes on. Makes the defender fall in front. Up top, here's Udall. Shot low will be blocked. Rebound, Sarah Kostopoulos looking for it. Another chance in front for McDougall, but he couldn't find the back of the net. As Jay Scally, the Valley netminder, keeps it out. Here's Johnson up top. 30 seconds to go on the power play. McDougall pass in front. Rimmer. That bounced off of his stick in the corner. Here's Udall on the half wall. Udall trying to get by the defender, makes a move, but eventually gets poked out the puck by Cooper Best, and that will be cleared down the ice. 15 seconds to go on the power play. What a start to this game. An electric atmosphere here in the Apple Dome. The Valley faithful on hand trying to watch their team punch a ticket to the semifinals tomorrow morning. Here's McDougall behind the net. He's been out there for the whole power play. McDougall, as the penalty is now over, back to 5 apiece. A big kill for the Jets. Here's Rimmer. Well, pass it in front looking for all. That will bounce off of his stick, well defended by Thomas Varon. So back to 5-on-5. There's the collision in front of the Jets bench. It's going to come free. Here's Maverick Coleman for the Valley. As that'll be played to the wall, kept in by Lewis. Here's Harrison Lewis. Will advance the puck inside the zone. Picked up by Coleman. He'll go over to Thomas Varon. Varon through center for Edwin Varon. There's a collision. That's going to come free off the turnover. There's a chance in the backhand. Kostopoulos. Rebound kept up by Galley. Another chance in front. It's still loose. Play to the line. Here's a point shot blocked on its way through by Luke Woodworth. Chance other way. Here's Coleman. Up for Varon. Varon. That will be turned to the other side as Thomas Varon will collect it out of the corner. 4 minutes have gone here in the first. Crowd still piling in here to the Apple Dome. A great crowd on hand so far. As Brooks up for Hale out of his reach. Back to retrieve the puck is Gage Gillis. Gillis gets tangled up down low. It's going to come free, sent up the wall. Here's a chance for Kong to clear. He'll find Ald up ahead. Ald will skate the puck up the ice. Here comes Campbell Ald, but good back check from Grace as he'll make the play over to his defenseman, Ashton Watts. That's going to come free for the Hawks, looking to enter the zone. Forced to the wall there was Halifax as McDonald got pushed off the puck. That's Wesley McDonald, not to be confused with Ryan McDonald. Mick and Mac, number 4 and 5. So I'll try and enunciate those two the best I can. Here's McWilliams. Jack McWilliams will play it in deep. That's going to be no icing on the play. Watts back to retrieve it for the Valley as he'll make the play as Sue gave him some pressure. Turned over the line. Shot will be redirected in front, but Jace Galley makes the save. And there's a extra shove after the whistle there. So here are your final standings for Pool A. So Sackville and Tassa advance to the semifinals tomorrow morning. We'll still wait to see who they play, of course. That will be determined after the winner of this game is decided. Right now, as it stands, it's the Valley Jets who will be moving on as they have a 1-0 lead. They are currently second place in the pool right now, so if this game ends in a tie, the Jets will advance, but the Hawks are looking to win in regulation to advance to tomorrow's semifinals. Here's Slomwhite. Riker Slomwhite will circle back in his own zone over to Maverick Coleman. Coleman up ahead looking for Andrews. Landon Andrews will enter the zone, pick up the puck on the corner. Andrews gets poked off of the biscuit by the Hawks defense. Here's Johnston. Johnston can't get by the back check of Andrews. Puck will come free for Coleman. Coleman over to Taylor. Back for Coleman in the corner. As we are 6 minutes into the opening frame, here's a dumping attempt blocks. Here comes Slomwhite the other way for the Valley, trying to find Andrews, but good back check. Here comes McDougall up for Burns. Might be a 2-on-2. Burns' shot will go past the far pad, nearly made its way off the post and in. Still 1-0. Here's Burns down low. Burns look for McDougall. It's going to come free for Landon Andrews. Here comes the Jets superstar, but can't get by the defense of Johnston. As McDougall will try and get by Cooper Best, but Best will pick his pocket. Here comes Best looking to get by the back check, but good stick from McDougall to free up the puck. He'll take it back on his own blue line. McDougall will flick one through center as Best will corral that with his backhand. Has Rimmer on him. Big size difference there between 21 and 35. There's a battle along the wall. Up for Andrews, kept in by Udall at the line. Johnson looking to keep it inside the zone. That will poke free. Here comes Andrews down the near side wall, trying to toe drag by the defenseman Larson, but he couldn't get by him. Here's Rimmer on the other side. As Best pinching through. It's not going to go by him. Here comes Rimmer. 3-on-1. Over to Udall. Back across. Rimmer couldn't accept the pass cleanly. Another chance in front. It's loose, but cleared away by the stick of Ashton Watts. It's going to be kept in by the Hawks at the line by Gage Gillis. Down low, here's Rimmer. Rimmer's making him living down low in Gretzky's office. He gets taken down as the Hawks get the puck back. Here's Udall. Henry Udall looking for possession down low. That's going to come free. Poked off the stick of Larson. Play to the line, but that will be kept in for a moment by Lewis. Here's Udall down low. Pass for Larson, but he couldn't get there in time to accept it. We're halfway through the opening frame. Here's Andrews out of his own corner. Landon Andrews will start the rush himself. Pass up ahead. That's going to be chipped out of the zone by Brennan Kinsman. Played back inside. Here's Watts up for Kinsman. He'll go off the wall. It's going to hit the skate of the linesman who's trying to get out of the way, but he couldn't in that situation. Udall finds a loose puck on the line. Udall trying to dangle his way through, but he can't get by the defense of Watts. Comes free for a moment on the wall. That's going to be played inside the zone by Kong. Up top now, there's a shot coming. That's going to be blocked. Rebound collected. Here's Harrison Lewis. Another chance. Galley makes a save with a glove and a whistle. And take a look at this crowd on hand here. There is not many empty seats here in the Apple Dome. A great show of community support here in the Valley for the U13 AAA Jets. 6:48 to go in the first. Shots are 4-2 for Halifax, but they have yet to solve Jace Galley yet in this game. One in the corner. Here's Thomas Barron. He'll rim it up the wall. Looking to accept that one is Luke Woodworth, as that's going to be kept in at the line. Barron over to Kinsman. Kinsman back towards the stick of Thomas Barron, who has the only goal so far in this game, but that's going to be kept in. There's a chance. There's a shot up high. That will hit something on the way through. Rebound cleared away, as that was Andy Sue who let that one rip, number 16 for the Hawks. As there's a turnover. Jets have it on their own blue line, as that's going to be poked off a stick by McWilliams. Comes free for Edwin Barron, who's wearing the C here this afternoon. Him and Brooks share those honors. Depends on what jersey they're wearing. Today it is Edwin Barron's captaincy. Here is MacDonald, played up the wall. Finds Andy Sue. Sue looking ahead for Campbell All. That'll be out of his reach. Here's Thomas Barron with 6 minutes to go in the first. It's going to be played up the wall. Chance for the Valley to advance the puck. That's going to bounce over the stick of Bryce Taylor. Neutral ice, picked off. Here's Johnston up for Kong. That's going to be outside of the line, which will stop play. So here's the Pool B standings as of right now. The Wings are currently in first place, so they will advance no matter what to tomorrow. Just a matter of who wins this game to see what the exact matchups will be. Puck is dropped. That's going to be worked into the zone. Comes free at the turnover as Graves plays it for Coleman. No look pass out the wall, be picked off. Here's Burns. Trying to work it through to the zone. That will come free at the line for Johnston. Sent back in deep. Pass across. McDougall finds McDonald. Over to Burns. Down low. Here's Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos for McDougall in the corner. McDougall shot blocked by Coleman. Looking to exit the zone, as that's going to be kept in at the line. Here's McDougall. Might be a 3-on-2. Sends it over. Here's a shot from Burns. And he scores! Turnover at the blue line. Hawks go right back down. And it's Dawson Burns with the goal. The equalizer here in Berwick. It's 1-1 with 5:02 to go in the first. Dawson Burns finishes off a great passing play, as it was McDougall who found the puck as he turned the puck over. So it'll be Burns from McDougall. With just about 5 minutes to go. Here comes Johnson weaving his way through. Johnson in the corner. Looking to get by Cooper Best. Still has a puck on his stick. Played to the other side for Larson. That's just going to be turned over. Here come the Jets in transition up for Landon Andrews. Andrews has a lane. Here comes number 96. Nice toe drag. Still has the puck. Andrews can't get by the back check of Campbell Ald. That'll be sent down the ice. Here's Best. Best up for Slomwhite. Here comes Riker. Slomwhite up ahead. It's a nice move to free himself up. Here's a shot. Scores! Judson Galliot gets the crowd back on their feet here in Berwick. It is 2-1. Beautiful shot. Great move to free himself up from Galliot. Jets get it right back, and they regain the lead here at home. What an electric start to this first period. 4:20 to go. Here comes Andrews. Landon Andrews down to the far side wall, gets by the defender. Andrews on the goal line, shot towards the goal. That's going to be fought off by Rollo. as Andrews will play it back to neutral ice. Here comes number 96, Andrews. Will drop it off for Watts, over for Best. Best will send it ahead for himself, but he gets poked out the puck by Ald. Here's Gage Gillis, turned over for Slomwhite. Here's Rikers, Slomwhite in the slot, makes a move in the backhand, kept out. Rebound stays out as well. That's going to be covered up by Wyatt Rollo. So Galliot from Slomwhite and Watts is the official goal call for the Jets' second goal of the game. Hope you're enjoying the coverage of this one so far. I'm enjoying watching it and covering it here myself. It's been a treat to do these provincials here in Berwick. Some great hockey on display. The future is now for these teams. As here comes Burns. That's the only goal so far for Halifax this afternoon. It's going to be dumped in deep and picked up by Brennan Kidsman. As one-touch pass will be turned over. Here comes Halifax. Burns will make a move inside the zone. Burns will play it in deep. As a one-touch pass will be played off the side of the net. Kostopoulos looking to set up in the O zone. It's going to be turned over. Here's Brooks. Bryce Brooks met at the line by McWilliams, who will play it back in deep. Here's Kinsman. Kinsman sends it over to Thomas Varon, up for Brooks. Brooks looking to clear. So that'll be kept in again by the Hawks, who are doing a great job of holding the zone and causing turnovers on the breakout attempts. Here's Varon. That's going to be played over across. Here's Luke Woodworth. He'll get the line and send it in deep, but no, the linesman deemed that he was not on the right side of the red, so that will be icing. Just inside 3 minutes to go in the first. It's 2-1 for the Valley in front of a raucous home crowd. Henry Udall will take the face-off against Sawyer Graves. Puck dropped. One back to the line that will just escape the zone. Here's McWilliams. DD pass will be picked off. There's nearly a breakaway. As that'll be played in the zone by Hale. Hale down low, looking for Taylor. As Graves will join the battle in the corner. Udall looking to dig it free. Udall out there with Larson and Rimmer. Play to the line. Here's Morse looking to feed it back down low. It's going to bounce off a stick and come free. Udall looking to clear. It's going to be played back by the Hawks inside their own zone. Here comes Halifax with it now. They'll enter on the far side. Ryan McDonald has it. Goes all the way. Shot will just go wide of the net past the top shelf. Good little burst of speed there from Ryan McDonald. It's going to come free down low for Morse. Charlie Morse sends it over to the direction of his deep partner Coleman, but couldn't accept it. Coleman battling with Larson down low. Comes free for Graves. Graves will play it over for Hale. Hale looking up ahead for Taylor as he got tangled up. Going to take the pass that will make its way inside the Hawk zone. No icing. Here's Johnston. Bailey Johnston, nice hesitation move to get by the forecheck. Still has the puck. Plays it up ahead as the Hawks are breaking out neutral zone. Here comes Udall. Udall can't get by Cooper Best inside the zone. It's going to be picked off, or no, that will bounce over to Slomwhite. Riker Slomwhite, nice move. Enters the zone through the middle of the ice. Slomwhite will drag. Still has it, nearly finishes it off. As that's going to be played through the crease. There's a chance, but unable to pull the trigger in tight. Was Judson Galliot looking for his second of the game. That's going to be sent all the way down, and that will be icing. Galliot had an opportunity right in the slot to make it 3-1, but he couldn't pull the trigger. As his footing kind of got lost there in the high slot area near the ring line. They'll drop the puck off the ice into the blocker's side of Wyatt Rollo. Puck dropped. It's going to come free. Here's Ryan McDonald for Halifax. He'll go D-to-D, played up the wall. Pinching through his best. That will get past him. Here's Kong. Kong out there with Sue and Ald. Ald will advance the puck inside the zone as we're inside the final 60 seconds of the period. Here's Sue. Sue looking down low for Ald, but that's going to be intercepted and sent down the ice. And that will trickle its way past the goal line for an icing call. With 48 seconds to go. Once again, we're waiting to determine who will play the Flyers and the Ducks in the semifinals. It all depends on the scoring of this game. The tie-breaking scenarios is goals for versus goals against. So you divide the goals for by goals against. It makes a number for you. And that is a number that decides the tiebreaker if there are teams tied in points. You get 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, no points for a loss, obviously. Here's Varon. Edwin Varon on the goal line. Pass in front for Andrews as he got his stick lifted in front. Might have prevented a goal. As Coleman will find the neutral ice. Picked off. Here's McDougall. McDougall with Burns. And Kostopoulos trying to drop that one off, but that'll be picked off. Comes free. Here comes Riker Slomwhite with Andrews. 2-on-2. With 15 seconds to go, Slomwhite gets by the defender. Still has the puck. Backhander kept out. That's a big stop from Rollo. With 10 seconds to go in the period. Here's Varon. Gets poked off the biscuit at center, and that's going to do it for the first period. And what a period it was. 2-1 is your score after 15 minutes of play. Shots were 6-5 for Halifax, but they are down by a goal. You're watching the High Button Sports production of the Under-13 AAA Provincial Championship here in Berwick. We'll be back for the second period in just a few moments. Welcome back inside the Apple Dome. It's 2-1 for the Jets, looking to punch their ticket to tomorrow's semifinals. Hawks are in the same scenario as well. The winner of this game will advance. If the game ends in a tie, that will favor the Jets as they are currently ahead of the Hawks in the Pool B standings. So a tie or a win for the Valley there in the semis, and an outright win for the Hawks means they're taking place in tomorrow's crossover game. It was Thomas Varon who opened the scoring for the Valley just a minute into the period, as he has the puck right now on his stick. Varon will look to clear himself up for Andrews. Can't find his stick. Here's Brooks. Chipped off the wall. That's going to come free and neutral ice. Flicked across. That's going to be picked up. Here's a turnover. Andrews' shot just goes wide past the post as the Apple Dome ready to erupt with a Nathan Andrews goal. He already has 5 in the tournament in 2 games. Shot again will be blocked this time by Gage Gillis. Come the Hawks the other way as Andrews on the back check will recollect the puck as Coleman takes the pass from Andrews over to Varon. Thomas Varon up for Brooks. Here's Bryce Brooks. Puck will find the stick of Andrews, but picked off. Here comes Gillis. Gage Gillis, nice move into the zone as he'll take a spill near the ringette line. It's going to come free. Sent on goal. Rebound kept out by Galley. As that trickled its way through to the pad, but Galley makes the save in tight. 7-5 are the shots now with that latest shot on goal for Halifax. Larson will take the face-off out there with Kostopoulos and Burns. Burns has the only goal for Halifax so far this late afternoon as we're approaching the evening here in Berwick. 3:30 is the local time. Just about. There's Taylor looking to make a move. He finds Riker Slomwhite. Slomwhite through the middle. Can't get by the stick of the defender. That's going to be chipped off the glass. Here's Larson. Turned over. Slomwhite has it again. Slomwhite can't get by the defense of McWilliams. Played towards the goal. Rebound will be played to the wall. It's a good stick from the goaltender, Rollo. It's going to come free. Larson looking to get the puck out of his end. Sent up for Burns. Burns, saucer pass will go off the skate of Kostopoulos. Comes free. Here's Wesley McDonald. McDonald will enter the zone on the near side. Puck comes free right by the blue line. Both teams are trying to dig it off the wall. It's going to be sent out of the zone. Graves in on the forecheck against McDonald. That's Ryan McDonald. Hawks from the battle. Here's Larson. Sends it over to Burns. Burns might have a step to the net here. Here comes Dawson Burns as he gets poked off the puck by Cooper Best in the back check. That'll come free in the corner. Here's Woodworth, a chance to clear, kept in by McDonald. Shot will be blocked and make its way wide of the net. Burns finds the rebound. Burns, as he'll be poked off of his stick. Here come the Jets the other way. Here comes Taylor. Shot will be stopped by Rollo on the partial breakaway. Big save there from the Hawks netminder who's settled into this game now. Here's Best. Best up for Hale. Hale on the near side enters the zone, trying to get by McDonald. Comes free, here's Grace, pass in front, shot on, Woodworth! That's going to be kept out as Cooper Best in tight, pinching through. Got a good shot off, but kept out by Wyatt Rollo. Another big save for number 31 for Halifax. 12 and a quarter to go in the second period. Puck is dropped, play to the line. That's going to bounce out of the zone through the stick of Coleman. Comes free off the wall. Jets looking to get out of the zone. It'll be kept in at the line by Johnston. This time it gets by him. Sorry, that is Lewis on the blue line, not Johnston. Here's Gage Gillis now. Gillis puts the brakes on in front of his own net. Will go opposite wall, looking for the deflection. Finds Sue. Andy Sue will let a shot go, blockered away by Galley as Sue got all alone there, right in front of the goaltender. As Khan looking to work it free down low. Him and Sue battling for possession. Comes free for the Valley. Here's Brooks. Will rim it around the wall. Gillis holds the line for a moment, but chipped past him, but able to recover is Sue. Sue sent up ahead, and that will be offside at the line. With 11:22 to go, play is stopped. The Ducks and the Flyers are waiting who they will play in tomorrow's semifinals. Will it be the Jets or the Hawks who advance? We'll have to wait and see how this game goes. Puck is dropped. Here is Barron, who had the opening goal of this game as Andrews is offside. As we can now show the final standings for Pool A. 3 teams finished 2-1, but it's the goal differential that was the tiebreaker. As Lucas Price, the goalie for Sackville, played all 3 games and was absolutely outstanding. Only giving up 2 goals in 3 games, which made for a great goal differential for Sackville, which put them at the first place of the pool. That's going to be picked up at center ice by Ryan McDonald. Over to McDougall, he'll spin and fire one into the zone. Played back towards the middle, picked off. Here's Rimmer, pass in front, all alone, shot by Udall, and he scores! Oh my goodness, what a move! Henry Udall goes backhand past the blocker, and we're all tied once again. What a feed from Benny Rimmer off the turnover. Sets up Udall all alone in front, and he does the rest of the work off the backhander. Perfect patience and poise from Henry Udall. Great move and tight. And just as we started, we are all tied up here at the Apple Dome. Great feed from Rimmer and a better finish from Udall. As Rimmer has the puck, he'll try to get into the zone. That's going to be offside at the line. So make that 4 points in the tournament for Ben Rimmer and 3 goals for Henry Udall. Udall also has 4 points, 3 goals and an assist. Overall, as we're now in the 3rd game for the Hawks. Here's Best. He'll spin off the forecheck of Burns. Best looking to advance the puck up the ice. That will come free right in front of the Hawks bench. Here's Burns. As Best gets the puck back off of his stick, Cooper Best will play it behind the net. Looking for a lane up top. Sent towards the wall. Best gets it back. Here comes Cooper Best. He'll lead the 2-on-2, trying to go wide. Pass McDonald. Best still has it, but forced into the boards by Wesley McDonald. Pass in front, that's going to bounce free. As there's a chance for Burns either way, but good back check from Edwin Varon. Neutralizes the possible breakaway chance. Here's McDonald. Will weave his way through the center of the ice, looking to kickstart the offense. Here's Kostopoulos now. Kostopoulos shot blocked on its way through by Ashton Watts. Comes straight out of the corner. Here's Varon. Edwin Varon, will play it up ahead. Here is Woodworth. Takes the pass, enters the zone, trying to go wide with Varon. Woodworth towards the goal. Kept out. Rebound. That will stay out as Varon couldn't pull the trigger on the doorstep. That turned into a 2-on-0, but no goal there. There's a pass towards the goal. That's going to be kept out as Varon, once again on the doorstep, was denied. Taylor has it now. Shot up high will go off the shoulder of Rollo as Coleman pinching through. It's going to be kept in. Here's Morse. Down low for Coleman. Finds Varon. Varon looking to no-look pass that to the front of the net, but that's going to be intercepted. Play to the half wall. Looking to dig that free are the Jets. Here's Morse. A lot of shot go. Fought off. Rebound. Fandon in front. As that was Hunter Hale with a couple opportunities there, number 15. That's going to be touched up on the wrong side of the blue line. That will be an offside. 8:47 to go. It's 2-2. If the game ends as it stands right now in a tie, the Jets will advance, but the Hawks need a win in regulation to get through to Sunday. Here's Morse over to Coleman. Coleman will rim it around the wall. It's going to bounce free. Here's Rollo out to play it. He'll go forehand up the boards. He finds Kong. As Kong looking to work it in the zone. That's going to be a penalty on the play. Hawks will head back to the power play. With 8.5 to go in the second period, a chance to take the lead for Halifax. As it'll be Bryce Taylor heading to the box. Udall, Kostopoulos, Rimmer, Johnston, and McDougall, the 5 out there for this power play. The Hawks like to keep the same 5 out there for the whole 2 minutes. Let's see what they do here. Puck is dropped. Scrum drop, play to the line. McDougall holds it in. Over to Johnston. That's going to be kept in by Johnston. Back for McDougall. He'll walk in the top of the circle. Shot. Stop. Rebound. That will trickle wide behind the net. Here's Rimmer. Rimmer puts the brakes on in the corner. Has a bit of space in the goal line. Rimmer's shot will go off the stick in front and wide of the net. Here's Johnston. We'll work it down to the wall. Finds Udall. In the corner now for Rimmer. Rimmer can't get by Varon. Plays it up the wall for McDougall. Back down low for Rimmer in Gretzky's office. Back for McDougall on the half wall up top. Here's Johnston. Johnston over for Udall. Udall holds on to the puck. Looking for a lane. He'll backhand one in deep. Finds Rimmer. Rimmer plays it off the wall. Gets taken down, but hold on to the puck. Makes the play over to Udall. Udall towards the goal. Rebounds there in front for Kostopoulos, but he couldn't jam it home. Here's McDougall. Pass down low for Rimmer. Here's Benny Rimmer with the puck. Has an assist already tonight as he gets fought off the puck by Coleman. Play to the line, but kept in. Here's Johnston. Johnston to the half wall. Here's Udall. Shot low. Rebounds there, cleared away. That will bounce over the stick of McDougall. Here's Johnston. 50 seconds to go in the power play. Johnston, nice move. Pass across. Here's Udall. Fanned on it. Had a good look at the net, but he couldn't pull the trigger. That will be sent down the ice, and chance short-handed. Here comes Landon Andrews the other side. Andrews will collect the puck out of the corner. Still has it down low. Andrews backhander fought off by the stick of the defender Johnston. Here's McDougall. Over to Udall. Udall has the puck. He'll flick it up and high looking for Rimmer. That'll bounce past his glove. Sent down the ice. McDougall picks it off at the red line. McDougall makes a few moves. Gets by Slom White. Still has the puck. As here is McDougall. Will button hook at the top of the zone over to Johnson. Johnson will walk in and shoot one. Rebounds there, but kicked away. 10 seconds to go on the power play. It's going to be cleared down the ice by Andrews. And that should do it for the man advantage. Here comes Slom White shorthanded. Slom White, nice move. Here comes Slom White towards the goal. Couldn't finish off the highlight reel play. Still 2-2 as we're back to 5-on-5. It's all tied up here still in Berwick. There's a chance either way. Here comes Burns. Burns up ahead for Kong. Kong's shot will be kept out by Galley. What action here. Back and forth here at the Apple Dome. Andrews looking to work it free off the wall. Here comes Taylor. Taylor gets by McWilliams. Taylor's shot will just sail wide of the net. 6 minutes to go in the second. Here's Larson up for Kong. Bounced off of his skate. Larson looking to recollect the puck. Here's McWilliams now. Chipped ahead. Picked off by Best. Comes free near the bench of the Halifax Hawks as Greg McDonald looking on. Watching his team trying to win a game here and move on to the provincial semifinals tomorrow. Turned over. Here's Larson over to Kong. Picked off and sent down the ice. Batted down by McWilliams, but placed right in front of him for Edwin Varon. As that will be turned over again. Hawks get it right back with 5.5 to go in the second. Send up the wall. Bounces free. Here comes Larson. 2-on-1 perhaps, but good back check. Pass across. Here's Burns. Shot kept out. Rebound covered up by Galley. And that will freeze play. What action going on here at the Kings Mutual Center. You're watching the under-13 AAA Provincials here on High Button Sports. It's coming down to the wire here in the final game of round-robin play. We still don't know who will advance to Sunday semifinals at 9 a.m., bright and early tomorrow. all we know is that it'll be the Flyers and the Ducks taking on whoever advances. The Wings will be one of those teams, but it's all about who finishes where in the Pool B standings. Wings are currently in first, so if this game ends in a tie and the Jets will make it through, it'll be the Wings who finish first, and they will play the Tata Ducks. Well, if the Hawks win, it'll be the opposite. Here's a shot. That's going to be kept out as Rimmer was all alone in the high slot, but Galley for the Valley makes the save with the glove. So whoever finished second in Pool B will play the Flyers. Whoever finishes first in Pool B will play the Ducks. That's about as far as we know right now. .5:02 to go. As Woodworth will take the face-off against McDougall. Puck dropped. One to the line. DD pass for Gillis. Gillis shot from distance will be stick to the corner by Gage Galley. Here's Rimmer. Looking to make a play down low. Finds McDougall. McDougall out there with Udall and Rimmer in this key situation with 5 minutes to go in the second. Here's Coleman. Over to Varon. Thomas Varon, the defenseman, has a goal tonight. Plays it over to Coleman, his deep partner. Coleman up ahead. Finds Brooks. Here come the Valley. Brooks up ahead. Looking to bust through as Edwin Varon will go on his backhand. As he'll get it back towards his forehand. That's going to come free off a skate. Here's Rimmer. Ben Rimmer across for Udall. Picks it up on his backhand. Udall enters the zone to the near side. Udall trying to go wide. Shot towards the goal. Fought off, and that will be played behind the net. Udall gets it back. Here's Henry Udall. He'll cycle it down low. That will bounce over the stick of McDougall. He'll peel off for a change. Cleared off the glass by the Jets. It's going to bounce by McDonald. Johnston back to retrieve it. Here's Bailey Johnston trying to spin by the forecheck. Johnston makes a saucer pass up ahead. That's going to bounce through the stick of Rimmer, and that will be icing. Inside 4 minutes to go in the second period. It's all tied up here in Berwick. Shots are now 17-9 in favor of Halifax. They had a few power plays and have had some good chances. Galley has been pretty good so far in this game. Here's Johnston. Up ahead. Here's Kong. That's going to come free as Kong takes a spill at center. Puck is bouncing. Played over across to the opposite wall. Picked up here is Ryan McDonald. McDonald will go off the boards. Finds Johnston, his D2D partner. Over to Kong. Kong up ahead. Looking for all out of his reach. Comes free. Here's Johnston. Johnston. This is a pass up for Ald. Ald with Johnston and Sue. Nice move in the backhand, but it's going to be steered away. As here comes Taylor. Bryce Taylor on the near side. Enters the zone. Trying to go wide on the backhand as he puts the brakes on the corner. Pass in front of, looking to set up Hale, but that will go through his stick. Here's Best. Cooper Best will weave his way through the center of the ice. Dumps it in as he gets the blue line. Here's Rollo. Leaves it behind the net for Ryan McDonald. 3 minutes to go now in the second. Pass will go off the wall. It's going to come free for Sue. Sue. As Kong will try and work it in deep. That's going to be sent back towards the neutral ice and played back inside the zone by Ryan McDonald. Collected by Cooper Best. Here comes Best. Gets by the first defender. Still has it. Best. Another nice move. Best enters the zone. Takes it wide. Best shot will be stopped. Rebound covered up by Wyatt Rollo. 2:30 to go in the second. What a great game this has been, and what a tournament it has been overall. Slomwhite will take the face-off against McDougall. Puck dropped. Play to the corner by the Hawks inside their own zone. McDonald looking to clear. Anderson on the forecheck finds it on the goal line. Here's Anthony Andrews towards the goal. Kept out. That hit a body on its way through. What a power move from Andrews looking to shrink towards the net. That time he's denied. Here's Kostopoulos on the other side. Kostopoulos will drag and shoot one. Glove down by Galley. No freeze play with the glove. That was the 10th shot on the other side for the Valley, and that was the 18th shot for the Hawks. 2:11 to go. Slomwhite against McDougall for the face-off. Once again, this time inside the Jet zone. As looks like they'll kick out Slomwhite. In comes Bryce Taylor. Puck dropped. One to the wall. Sent in deep by McWilliams. Finds Kostopoulos. One touch pass in front. This has a beautiful design on the faceoff play, but McDougall couldn't pull the trigger. There's a chance sent out the post. That one sings the iron. The spinning and shooting is McDougall again. And that's going to be covered up this time by Galley. A great faceoff play designed by the Halifax Hawks. They had a few good chances there. Still 2-2 inside the final 2 minutes of the second. Lots of twos for you there. Here's McDougall looking to center it. That's going to be played off the side of the net. Varon up for Landon Andrews. The Andrews will try and clear. It's going to bounce through the stick of McWilliams. That will clear the zone. As Slomwhite wins the foot race, goes skate to stick. Slomwhite pass in front, tipped just wide. Well defended on the way through. As that just got a piece of the defender, McDonald. On the 2-on-1 chance. Here is Andrews. Landon Andrews will make a move up to the line. Here's Coleman. Coleman will make one go through the crowd. That's going to not make its way to the net. Here's Kostopoulos on the other side for Halifax. Kalen Kostopoulos takes it wide, looking for a lane with 1:15 to go in the period. It's going to come free. Rimmed up the ball. Andrews looking to poke it, but kept in by Gillis. Shot will go out the blocker. That was a good job from Gage Gillis keeping that puck inside the zone. It's going to bounce to the corner. Here's Kostopoulos looking to center it from his knees, but he can't make the play as he was falling down. The turnover shot blocked in front. He picked up. Here comes Taylor. Taylor has Andrews with him, and Slomwhite. Taylor takes it himself, goes wide. Taylor towards the goal, looking to set up Andrews, but he couldn't feed the puck over to number 96. Chance of the way. Here comes Udall with Burns, 2-on-2 with 40 seconds to go. Udall will drag and shoot unblocked. Rebound comes loose, but picked up by Andrews. That's going to be poked off of his stick, but he gets it right back. Here comes Landon Andrews at center. Enters the zone and will shoot one off the pad. Rebound's there, cleared away. Here's Larson through the middle of the ice, picked off by Slomwhite. Slomwhite will jangle his way into the zone. Slomwhite on the wall now with 20 seconds to go. He'll get defended off the puck. That's going to be played up for Larson. Larson has Rimmer with him on the 2-on-2. Larson holds on to it, pass in the middle. Here's Ben Rimmer, shot blocked. That's going to be covered up off the ricochet that made its way towards the net. 6 seconds to go in the period. Still 2-2 as we approach the end of the frame. Face off will be to the blocker side of Galley. In comes Ben Rimmer against Edwin Varon for the draw. Puck dropped. 5 seconds to go. That's going to make its way to the corner. Here's McDougall. Last second effort. That's going to be the end of the period there as the buzzer goes. So it's 2-2. After 2, we have a great third period in store. Zamboni will head to the ice first. They'll flood the ice. So that will take about 10 minutes or so. Until then, we'll take a quick break. You're watching the Under-13 AAA Provincials here on iBun Sports. A massive third period as this game is tied at 2s. Heading to the break. We'll see you for the third in just a moment. Welcome back to the Apple Dome. It's the third period of play in the final round-robin matchup between the Halifax Hawks and the Valley Jets at the Under-13 AAA Provincials. Here on High Button Sports live from the Kings Mutual Center in beautiful Berwick, Nova Scotia, part of the Annapolis Valley. It's the Valley Jets, the host team, who are hanging on right now. If the game ends at 2-2 as it stands, at this very moment, they will advance to the semifinals. Well, the Hawks need an outright win to make it through to tomorrow. A massive third period, the biggest period of the season for the Jets and the Hawks. And we are underway live. 15 fresh minutes, a fresh set of ice. Two teams who are ready to get going here and trying to decide a winner of this game, or maybe it'll end in a tie. But a tie would favor the Valley. As here's McDonald, shot blocked. As Andrews looking for the loose puck on the other side. That's going to come free. Andrews, shot kept out. Rebounds there, but play to the corner. Well, that will make its way free for McDougall. McDougall up for Udall. Udall looking to get the game-breaking goal, the go-ahead goal for his team. He already has one here so far as we are now into the evening. It's 4 o'clock local time. This game started at 3. Here is McDougall trying to work it through. His Rimmer shot will go at the pad of Galley as he just gets enough of it to make the save. There's another chance sent towards the net. It's going to come free in the slot. Here is Rimmer. McDougall will spin and fire one that's going to make its way to the corner at the block shot. That will get past the blue line as linesman signals that it was touched, so no icing. Here's McWilliams trying to fake off the forecheck with a hesitation move as Rimmer plays it up through the center of the ice. Finds Larson. Larson out of the zone as the fans are piling back into their seats at the Apple Dome. It's a great crowd on hand as the host team is playing their third game of the round robin. Here's Bryce Taylor. Taylor will work it across. That's going to be rimmed around the wall. Sent up ahead. That's going to be kept into the line for a moment. Here comes Andrews. Landon Andrews will fake the slap shot. That's going to come free. On the other side, here comes Kostopoulos. Kalen Kostopoulos will get halted as he enters the zone. As Andrews has it. Looking to get by the forecheck as Larson digs it free behind the net. Played up the wall. Kept in by a moment. That's going to trickle out of the zone. Here's Burns. Over cross for Wesley MacDonald. That's going to be played up ahead. Kostopoulos couldn't break free through the defender's stick. That was Watts. Clearing attempt will go out the mask of Taylor. Here comes Bryce Taylor. Down the near side wall. Trying to go wide by the defender. Takes it down low. Wraparound chance to be kept out by Wyatt Rollo. Saucer pass across will find Burns. Comes free. Here's Riker Slomwhite enters the zone, trying to backhand it in deep. Him and Andrews out there together. As Larson will play it over. There's a shot from Sue that's going to be blocked with the shin pad of Watts. Here's Graves now. Sawyer Graves will send it across for Slomwhite. Riker Slomwhite through the middle of the ice, picked off. Here's Sue. As he can't get through as he gets his stick lifted. Here comes Cooper Best now joining the rush. Best with Andrews driving towards the goal as Best will be forced to dump it in deep. Here's Andrews. Andrews will take a spill in the corner. Arm stays down from the referee. Looked like a bit of a dive there from Andrews. He falls down again as that will make its way out of the zone. Here's Charlie Morse with it. He'll fire it in deep to the Hawks' end. Rollo out to play it. Leaves it behind the net. 11:40 to go in the second. Here's a turnover. Here's Graves out of the corner. Pass to the slot. Brooks shot. Glove down by Wyatt Rollo. Flashing the leather. And it is still 2-2. Massive save for Halifax. A potential tournament saver for them. They are still alive now. Puck is dropped. One to the line. Here's Morse. Shot will bounce its way into behind the net. Here's Brooks spinning in front for Graves off that pass. Here's Coleman. He'll let a shot go wide. Morse will fire it in deep. Here's McDougall now. McDougall will hesitate in front of his own net. Eventually makes the play up for Rimmer. That'll bounce over his stick. And that will be icing against Halifax. A Approaching the 4-minute mark of the third period. If this game is tied after the end of this final frame, that will be the final score. And that would mean the Jets move on. Hawks need to win in regulation. They can't tie it or lose, obviously. Puck is dropped. Here's Varon. That'll be sent over. It's going to be worked behind the net. Thomas Varon has it. He had the opening goal of the game. A beautiful move to open the scoring. Played up the wall. Looking to get by Rimmer. As the Jets forward Brooks comes free for McDougall. Pass over. Here's Udall. Backhander will be kept out. Rebound will just trickle wide. As there's a tangle up in front of the net looking for that rebound chance. There's Brooks inside his own zone. Will take it behind his own net. Can be played off the boards. Comes free in front of the Jets bench. Rimmer pinning his man against the wall. Played back as Kinsman will go over to Varon. Here's Thomas Varon. Has it behind the net with 10:20 to go in the period. Looking to clear out the Jets. Kept in by Johnston. He'll pinch it through. Another clearing attempt kept in by McWilliams. Shot will be gloved down by Galley. And he'll freeze play. Nearing the 5-minute mark of the third. 10:10 to go. Still tied here in Berwick at the Apple Dome. Coming up next is the skills competition. This will feature each team's best skilled players in 7 different events. That's going to bounce free. Here comes Andrews. Andrews towards the goal, gets hooked on the way, makes a move and scores! Landon Andrews! Go-ahead goal for the Valley. His 6th of the tournament. This guy can't be stopped. Andrews once more for the Valley. What a move as he was hooked on the way through. Didn't matter. He powered his way to the net. Slid it home on the backhander. And it is now 3-2 for the Jets. Here comes Slomwhite. Riker Slomwhite will walk in and shoot one. Defended off of his stick. Here's Andrews again. Shot off the crossbar. That one came off his stick in a heap. What a shot that was. What a release as well. Here's Slomwhite. Will shoot one towards the goal. Fought off and no rebound by Wyatt Rollo. As Galliot was looking for the rebound, but there was none. 9.5 to go. Landon Andrews just took the lead back for the Valley. He's still out there with Slomwhite and Galliot. Puck dropped. Here's Ryan McDonald. McDonald up for Rimmer. Ben Rimmer out of his own zone up for McDougall. McDougall went to the zone, was going to be offside as Udall was forced inside the zone. So Slomwhite gets another assist. Cooper Best gets the apple as well here at the Apple Dome. So face-off will be just outside the Jet zone on the near side. Puck is dropped. Rimmer will flick it up and high into the zone. Puck is bouncing. Cooper Best will try and corral it. Best will start the rush himself from his own end. Trying to go end to end here is number 21 in white and green. Still has the puck. Best will let a shot go low. That will trickle its way wide of the net. Here's Slomwhite sent back towards the net. Played to the corner by Ron McDonald. Here's Johnston. Johnston, as the Hawks have numbers. Johnston holds on to it, makes a move, goes behind the net. Trying to get by Coleman. He'll get taken to the wall. Here's Slomwhite. Sent up for Galliot. There comes Galliot. He'll work into the zone. That's going to trickle its way on net and covered up by the Hawks netminder Rollo. Taking no chances. Rimmer will take the face-off against Sawyer Graves inside the Hawk zone. Puck is dropped. Here's a shot. Will be stopped off the stick of Wyatt Rollo. Here comes Wesley McDonald. Worked up ahead, out of the reach of his intended recipient. That was Udall. Worked ahead by Varon. That's going to be a penalty in the play. Thomas Varon taken down. With 8:26 to go. Tripping is the signal. It'll be Udall. heading to the box for Halifax. So a chance for the Jets to extend their lead, and out comes Andrews with Edwin Varon, Bryce Brooks, Cooper Best, and Maverick Coleman. Opposing them is Ben Rimmer, Jack McWilliams, McDougall, and one more player there out of the corner. I can't quite see the number. That is Wesley McDonald. Here's Best on the near side wall. Fakes the drop, pass, holds onto the puck, sends it over. Here's Andrews. Andrews up for Coleman. Coleman's shot from distance will make its way through. Rebound will be cleared away. Andrews finds it. Will try and work it free down low. Andrews behind the net, looking for an option. Has it on the near side corner now, on the half wall now. Andrews up top. Here's Coleman. Coleman will hesitate at the blue line, plays it down low. That will bounce over the stick of Edwin Varon. Comes free for Brooks. Back for Varon. Varon hesitates, plays it back up top for Coleman. Coleman back for Varon. Edwin Varon will take his spot in the middle of the ice. Sends it over. Here's a pass from Best over to the opposite side for Andrews. That will bounce its way and come free for the Hawks as they're looking to clear. Varon gets it back over to Brooks. Bryce Brooks looking to settle into the zone here on the power play. That will be picked off and cleared down the ice by Benny Rimmer. Here's Coleman. Maverick Coleman on the power play, up for Best. Back for Varon. Here comes Edwin Varon looking to bust through. Comes free for Best. Here's Cooper Best with the puck in the slot. Shot. Glove down. No rebound from Wyatt Rollo. It is still 3-2. 43 seconds remaining on the power play. Graves will take the draw, as that's going to have to be redone as the Jets were completing a change. So Graves against Auld to the glove side of Wyatt Rollo. Still 3-2. As Landon Andrews, as it stands, has the game winner. Puck is dropped. That puck will come free. There's Andrews. As there's a shot on, that's going to be stopped as that was Bryce Taylor. Let that one go. Taylor makes a move to the wall, plays it down low. Here's Slom White out of the corner. Slom White looking for an option. Makes a move. Slom White drops it up for Taylor. Taylor's shot kept out. Rebound sent wide by Graves. Here's Sawyer Graves up the wall. Finds Slom White. Slom White up top. Here is Taylor. Pack for Slom White. Nice move. And the slot shot will be blocked away. Rebound sent on goal as they're trying to whack it through, but it's going to be kept out by Allo. Here's Taylor. Puts a few fakes on the top of the zone. Still has the puck. Taylor will walk in the top of the circle and shoot one blocked as they're back to 5 apiece. Here's Lou. Sue has the puck. Enters the zone, trying to get by Andrews, who's back out there, but Andrews defends him off the puck. Here's Best now. With 6:10 to go, we're past the halfway mark of the third. Andrews works it on the near side wall up the ice. Gets into the zone, looking for the loose puck. Andrews centering pass will go off the skate of Ryan McDonald. McDonald worked up ahead. He finds Andy Sue. Sue, that's going to be worked off of his stick by Bryce Brooks in the back check. Brooks over to Slom White. Riker Slom White can't get by Johnston. Comes free. Here's Brooks again. Brooks will enter the zone as he takes a piece of Graves on the way through, which will cause him to lose his footing for a moment. Johnston, backhand pass. Here's Andy Sue, who'll play it into the zone. As Thomas Varon looking for the loose puck, he'll rim it across, looking for Slom White. As that's going to work free. Here's a pass towards the goal that will bounce over the stick of McDougall. 5:20 to go in the third. Here's Johnston. That will come free off the wall, sent up and down the ice. Here's McDonald. Ryan McDonald will put the brakes on behind his own net, looking for an option. McDonald up for Kong. Troy Kong will skate the puck up the ice as he gets his stick lifted. Comes free for Brooks. Brooks over to Varon. Here's Edwin Varon trying to work it into the corner. Varon on the goal line will make a move and shoot one. That will just go over the net. Varon gets it back. Spin move. Plays it down low. Here is Woodworth trying to get by the defender. 4:40 to go now. Time trickling its way down. The Jets wish it would run a bit faster, where the Hawks are looking to keep this game going as slow as possible. Here's Johnston. Johnston up the wall. Up for Kong. Here's Burns. Burns with McDougal and Kostopoulos with him. Drops it for McDougal. Pass ahead for Kostopoulos, just out of his reach as he nearly took that pass in the slot. Clearing attempt kept in. Here's a point shot that's going to be patted away by Jace Galley. There's a scrum on the wall. Comes free for Varon. Varon sends it over to Maverick Coleman. Up for Brooks. Brooks will advance the puck into free ice. Picked up by Wesley McDonald. Turned over. It's going to be sent in deep by Hunter Hale. 4 minutes to go now. Here's Burns. Takes the pass in his own zone. Kept in by Andrews. Landon Andrews will slap someone into the zone. Comes free to the other side. Here's McDougal with Burns with him. McDougal trying to get by Best. So he'll put the brakes on with the button hook. Played up top. Here's a shot. Will be deflected in front. Rebounds loose in the slot. Here's McDougal looking in front for Burns, who was all alone but couldn't feed the puck to him. 3.5 to go in the third. Here's Landon Andrews with the puck. Takes it behind his own net. He'll slow things down. Makes a move by Burns, using his net as a shield. So he'll take a spill, but able to maintain possession. Turns it over. Here's Kostopoulos on the backhand. Forehand! That will stay out as Best will poke him off the puck right as he was about to shoot it. Still 3-2. That's going to be kept in at the line, but picked off. Here comes Best. Cooper Best will lead the rush for the Valley. Makes a move. Best can't break through all alone. Passing for Slumwhite. Sends it up and high. And that might have been the insurance marker they needed. If there's a breakaway chance for Burns, Burns all alone. Burns will get poked out the puck, and that will stop play. In desperation on the back check was Landon Andrews. Might have prevented a breakaway with his hustle as he went charging into the goal. Burns was inches away from a breakaway, but puck did not roll his way. Inside the final 3 minutes here, the Hawks need 2 goals to advance to tomorrow. Graves against Udall for the face-off. It's going to be one to the opposite wall. Zal will clear the zone. Here's Rimmer. It's now or never for Halifax, as they're probably going to pull the goalie here soon and try and get a couple goals here late. Rimmer out there with Udall and Larson. Puck is bouncing. 2.5 to go. Played up the wall by Gillis. Kept in. Here's Taylor. Zal come free for the Hawks. Here comes Udall. Has Larson with him. Udall enters his zone on the far side, but good back check from the Jets will get them the puck back. Here comes Bryce Taylor. Taylor will lead the charge for the Jets. Still has the puck as he enters the zone, trying to get by Gillis with a toe drag move, but Gillis with a good stick up ahead for Udall. It's going to be intercepted by Thomas Varon at center ice and played back towards the opposite side. Chipped up to neutral ice. Puck is bouncing near the blue line. Here's Lewis now. Lewis over to Gillis. Gillis makes the play up ahead as that's going to be intercepted by Brooks. Hawks get it back on their own blue line. 1:45 to go. Here's Rimmer. Rimmer trying to get the puck back in the zone. Cleared out as it's now 6-on-5, so the Hawks in desperation mode, looking for 2 goals to keep their provincial championship hopes alive. Sent up ahead, one-touch pass. Here comes Burns. Burns will make a play over to Rimmer. Rimmer will drag and shoot, unblocked by Best. 80 seconds to go. It's going to be kept in by McDonald. Shot will be deflected off the stick of Cooper Best. He has the puck behind the net. Best will try and work it free. Gets by the 2 forecheckers. Best will send it down the ice. Kept in, or no, that will bounce out of the zone. Comes free. Here's Varon and Andrews out there together. It's going to be turned over. Here's Rimmer. Over to McDougal. McDougal on the backhand makes a move as he'll get taken down. That's going to be a penalty. So the Hawks went to the power play with 55 seconds to go. Might see a timeout called by Greg McDonald. And there's the signal. So it will be a timeout. Gives both teams a chance to catch their breath. I'm going to try and do the math here on what could happen with all these scenarios. to see who will be the matchups here if this game ends as it does at 3-2, but we'll have to wait and see. So we're ready to go here. Hawks need 2 goals to keep their provincial hopes alive. The Jets are looking to hang on. If the game ends in a tie, that will favor the Jets as they are already in second place in the pool, and that will give them a spot in the final or semifinals tomorrow. Excuse me. Here's Varon out of the corner. Hawks on the power play, 6-on-4. Net is empty. Here's Rimmer up top. One-timer blocked. And here comes Edwin Varon. He'll send it down the ice, and that will go wide of the net, but no icing because it is. There's a rebound. Varon, slap shot, scores! Edwin Varon sends the Jets to the semifinals. 4-2 now. The Apple Dome has just erupted. Empty netter from the local kid. Edwin Varon makes it a 2-goal game. That's going to be sent down the ice. And the clock will trickle its way down. Here's McDougall. McDougall enters the zone on the near side as this will be the end of the game and the tournament for the Hawks. Here's Johnston. Down low for Rimmer, just out of his reach, and that will be rimmed up the wall. Just a few seconds to go. And time will trickle down. And the Jets are moving on to the semifinals. 4-2 is your final. So it will be the Jets versus the Ducks. And the Wings will take on the Sackville Flyers. That will be your matchup. So this is the official matchups now. Wings versus Flyers. And then Ducks versus Jets. Both games at 9 a.m. Jets and Ducks will play over at Acadia, while the Wings and Flyers will play here at the Apple Dome. Both teams will shake hands at center ice after a wonderful display of hockey here this evening. Those will stay on the air for the player of the game. 4-2 is your final. So the Jets finished with 14 goals for and 7 against, which is a better goal differential than the 12 goals for and 11 goals against for the Wings. So Jets takes top spot in Pool B, which means they will play the Tassa Ducks, who finished second place in Pool A. As it was Thomas Varon who got player of the game. Excuse me, I talked over that. Varon gets the POG for the Valley, and number 31, Wyatt Rollo. Stay tuned now. We'll have the skills competition coming up here. But once again, the semifinal matchup. Wings versus Flyers here in Berwick. And then Ducks and Jets over at Acadia. Both games at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So 8 teams came in here to Berwick. 4 remain, and we only need 1 winner. That will be decided tomorrow. But for now, we'll have a little bit of fun with the skills competition. So thank you so much for watching this one. Once again, final score is 4-2. This was a High Button Sports production of the Nova Scotia Under 13 AAA Provincials here in Berwick. Stay tuned, as there will now be the skills competition on display now. Take a quick break. Until then, 5 o'clock will be the skills competition time. So we'll see you in a few moments for the skills comp.